Hello? Hello?
Podcast Network Asia. Hey guys, welcome back to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. My name is Alec Cuenca and I'm your host. And before anything else, I would like to greet each and every one of you. Welcome to the show. If this is your first time, then I hope that you learned something from this episode. And if you do, go ahead and check out the other amazing episodes because they have a lot of valuable insights that you can learn from. And if this is your nth time listening to the podcast, if you are an avid listener, then welcome back to the show. I'm really happy that you're here again. I'm really happy that you're joining me in this journey to becoming better, to improving ourselves, and to finding more ways that we could live a healthier and better life. So, with that, let's proceed to our episode for today. And today we are going to talk about the one thing that you should do to become successful. And it's really simple. I really believe that there are two things in life that you need to do to become successful. First is you need to show up. You need to start. You need to start doing the things that you need to do. You need to start doing the things that you said that you're going to do. And you got to show up, okay? Even though you don't know how you're going to do it, if you know you want to be better, if you know you want to level up your life, then you need to start leveling up your life. That's the first one. The second, and this is what we're going to talk about today. The second thing, and I believe this is really, really important. Sorry for the ad-libs. But the second thing, or the one thing that you need to do to become successful is to keep going. That's simple. You need to keep going. It doesn't matter if you don't know if this is going to take you in a place or a better or a worse place. It doesn't matter as long as you keep going. I remember last week I went to my father. I visited my father, which I missed. We rarely see each other. When we do, we make sure that we spend quality time together. So I went there, and he invited me to the beach, and we went there, and I was just, as usual, I always hitting myself with realizations, with trying to think and think and think when it comes, especially when I'm on, those kinds of places. For example, the beach or the mountains or anything connected to nature. I really like to think and just reflect on things. So I went there and I was walking, right? And as I was walking, I had so many questions in my mind. I was like, Lord, where is this life going to take me? Am I on the right path? And I can hear myself. I could hear the doubts, the fears, the insecurities that I have inside of me. And all of those, I was talking to God. While I was walking along the beach, I was talking to Him. Lord, is the path where I am going to lead me to a better place? Because it's hard. I'm struggling. I have a lot of doubts. I have a lot of fears. I have a lot of insecurities. Is this going to be better? Is the future going to be better? And I asked Him, and I waited for a response. I'm a big believer of signs, so I waited for any type of sign. But nothing responded. I got nothing. And so I walked a little bit further. And as I was walking, I was just focusing on taking one step at a time. Taking one step at a time and focusing on the next step and the next step and the next step after that. And I was so grounded with the feeling of the feet under the skin of my feet, and I was just walking, trying to contemplate the things that I have, the questions that I have. And though I asked Him again, Lord, where is this going to take me? And again, I got no response. But when I looked back, I didn't realize that I was so far away from my father that I left at the cottage. I looked back, I saw my footprints. And there were so many. There were so many footprints. And I've come a long, long way since I started walking. And in that short span of me just focusing on the first step, on the step that I'm going to take. On the now, I didn't realize that I'm making so much progress. Hindi ko lang talaga napapansin. And I figured that most of us are like that. We're too focused on seeing huge successes and seeing big changes in our lives that we rarely appreciate that we've come so much far from where we used to be. I read a quote that says like, you're so focused on your goals that you don't realize that you're exactly in the middle of where you were and where you wanted to be. Exactly in the middle. All of us are in the process of becoming better. I assume if you're listening to this podcast, you want to become better, right? And if we are sitting here in this spot, if we are standing or walking, wherever we are, whatever we're doing, we are exactly in the middle of where we wanted to be and where we were before. And back to the story, I realized that I've come such a long way, not just doon sa beach, but also in life. I want to achieve big things. I have a dream, I have a vision, I have a goal. But that next thing syndrome, like we think about the next thing, takes away the chance for us to appreciate the journey that we are in, the journey that we had taken along the way. So, my friends, there are two things that I want you to remember in this podcast. First is I want you to keep going. It doesn't matter if you know where you're going, you got to keep going. And life works that way. You might not know, you might not understand what you're doing right now, but as long as you keep going, you may have a lot of detours. Something might happen in your life. May mamatay, magkasakit, may pandemya. You'll think that you are taking a detour, that your plans are going in a way, in a direction that you didn't plan to. That's okay. You take a detour, but you keep on going. You might slow down, you might accelerate, but you're always moving constantly. And some of us might think that we can stop. Like what I did at the beach. I stopped and I asked God, Lord, where is this taking me? We might stop for a little moment, might pause and reflect and slow down. But we will continue to keep moving forward. And even if we don't want to, life will continue to move on. And it's up to us whether we'd stay where we are right now or we join with life as it continues to move forward. And so I want you to live intentionally, that no matter what happens, no matter how hard it gets, you will continue to keep moving forward. Kahit gaano kahirap, kahit gaano kasakit, kahit gaano kabagal, kahit gaano kabilis, you will continue to keep moving forward. What's funny is this has been my mantra ever since. Keep going. Keep going. Take it one day at a time. But I rarely realize that the more I do that in my everyday life, the more, alam mo yun, hindi ko na napapansin dahil I'm so immersed in just telling myself, keep going, keep going, keep going. But there was one memory that that showed up in my Instagram earlier, and I saw that I've come such a long way. And there was also this one man who shared my first ever episode on Spotify. I was like, wow, it feels like yesterday. And yesterday I was telling myself, keep going, keep going. And now we're on the 95th episode of the podcast. We're nearing 100 episodes on the podcast. And it's just amazing. Na gumagana pala. That it works. Just you telling yourself to keep moving forward every single day, one step at a time, one day at a time. And it works. So tell that to yourself today. Keep moving forward. Keep going. And so that is the one thing that you need to do to become successful. The success that I am seeing right now, whether it's in podcasts, whether it's the impact that I'm having, to other people, whether it's the business that I started, it's because I learned that I need to keep going. I may not have figured everything out yet. I will never be able to do that. But as long as I keep on trying, as long as I keep on going, as long as I keep on moving forward, that's what matters. Okay? So that's all for this episode. I hope you learned something from this episode. If you guys want to join me on the podcast academy that I am doing on April 16 and 17, that's Friday and Saturday, you can go ahead to bit.ly/podcast academy batch 1, and there are only 4 slots left. So please, if you want to join me there, please register right now. And also, I'm doing a free webinar on podcasting, starting a podcast in 2021, which will be held on Tuesday, April 13, 2021. That will be 8 p.m. onward. So please join me there. Just register at bit.ly/free webinar small talk. Go ahead and let's interact there. Let's connect there. I want to meet you guys personally. You can ask me questions there, anything about the podcast, and I will help you out as much as I can. So please check them out. And yes, this is it for the episode. I hope that you learned something. If you like this episode, please share this on your Instagram. Do not forget to tag me at Small Talk Podcast or at Alec Cuenca. I love reading all of your insights. I love reading all of your messages. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you've been giving me. We're almost at 100 episodes. I honestly cannot believe this, and I'm sure that I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys. So thank you so much. So again, my name is Alec Cuenca. I'm the host of Small Talk Podcast, small conversation with huge impact, and I will talk to you guys next episode. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.